Nico Rosberg thinks his former rival and teammate Lewis Hamilton moving to Ferrari proves he will be as hungry as ever to fight for another title. Hamilton, who turned 40 years old last week, will be working outside of England for the first time in his career as he chases that elusive 8th World Championship. Well, before we get into it, please remember to tap or click that subscribe button down below and the like button as well if you are feeling generous. Either way, this helps our channel out a lot as we gear up to the upcoming season. Thank you. Hamilton has left Brackley after 12 years at Mercedes, 4 of which were alongside Rosberg. In his time there, the Breton won 82 Grand Prix and 6 Drivers' Championships, making it the most successful partnership of all time, even more so than Michael Schumacher at Ferrari. This year, Hamilton will finally be suiting up in red, joining Charles Leclerc. In Rosberg's eyes, this move proves that Hamilton is still as motivated as ever, but simply needed a change of scenery. Quote, Lewis is driven by a deep love for the sport and a desire to keep pushing his limits. A change like the one he faces this year could rekindle that passion. Lewis is already a legend, he has nothing to prove, but his choice shows the hunger of a man who wants to keep growing as a driver and as a person. We haven't heard in a while from Sergio Pérez, but he's now given his first interview since being dropped at Red Bull Racing. The Mexican has maintained radio silence for the last month, but has now revealed what his future holds and given his perspective on how things ended in Milton Keynes. Perez spent 4 years at Red Bull, winning 5 Grand Prix and 2 Constructors' titles during that time. However, despite signing a contract extension in June, the 34-year-old was increasingly under pressure in 2024 as performances took a nosedive. After the season ended, Red Bull officially announced Perez's departure, and speaking to ESPN Deportes, the Mexican explained what his current life and future in motorsports looks like. Quote, my priority is to enjoy myself, to do things I haven't done, to be with my family. In the next 6 months, I will make a decision on what I want for the next step in my career. It's too early to give an answer as to whether I intend to return to Formula 1. Everything happened very quickly at the end of last season. I didn't expect to leave the team. My biggest motivation now is to take my children on a good path and be more present in their lives. And finally, Sky Sports commentator David Croft has said that he has always liked Max Verstappen, contrary to people who accuse him of being biased against the Dutchman. Croft knows Verstappen does everything he does with the end goal of winning, and he has no qualms with that whatsoever. Verstappen has accused the British media more than once of having a bias against any non-British driver, most recently calling out the press after his win at the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, remarking that no British media was present at the press conference, unlike at any other race. Croft, Sky Sports F1 commentator since 2012, has been on the call for every race of Verstappen's career, but claims he actually likes the Dutchman a lot, despite his aggressiveness, as this is the sign of a champion. Quote, he's over-aggressive on track and he's petulant to other drivers, which probably makes him a winner and a champion. Now, do we like champions? Do we like winners? We all have our favorites. I get that entirely. But the thing about Max is that he does what he does to win and to be a champion. And Red Bull is paying him to win and be a champion, so he's doing what's expected of him. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I like Max. I've always liked Max. I've liked him since he first drove in Japan in FP1 in 2014 because he's got so much talent and I appreciate the talents. Well, that's it for today's video. I'll be back later this week. And again, don't forget to follow us on all the usual platforms. I'll see you then.